All right, so your vocabulary for Module 6, Lesson 1, we have ratio. Ratio is a comparison of two quantities. So when you're comparing those two quantities, you don't need to use labels, but it does have to be done in in the correct order. So if I'm comparing the number of, let's take a look here. So let's say cats to dogs. Well, in my house, I have 0 cats to 2 dogs. So my ratio would have to be 0 to 2. Let's say in my house, if I'm going to do boys to girls. Well, in my house, there are 2 boys and there are 3 girls. If I were to reverse this, it would be wrong. If I were to put 3 to 2, that would imply that there are 3 boys and 2 girls. Now again, this can be written in multiple ways. It can be written with a colon, that means the word two. It can be written using the word two, or it can be written in fraction form. Now, that doesn't mean that it means the same thing as a fraction, because this compares two quantities to one another. It doesn't compare how many quantities there are out of a total. So this means that at my house, for every 0 cats, there are 2 dogs. Not that there are 0 out of 2. It means there are 0 cats and there are 2 dogs. Equivalent ratios are two ratios that have the same value when simplified. So in this case, what that means is if I were to say, so if I were to stick with that 2 to 3 ratio of boys to girls, if I were to double the amount of boys in my house, that would mean there would be 4 boys, but to keep it equivalent, I would also have to double the amount of girls, so there would have to be 6. So 2 to 3 and 4 to 6 are equivalent ratios. Or you could say, so if I have 8 to 10, and if I have, let's see, I could go with 12 to 15. These are equivalent ratios. Even though there's not a way to get from 8 to 12 and 10 to 15 that's easily thought of, if I break down 8 to 10, I get 4 to 5. Divide by 2, divide by 2. And if I simplify 12 to 15, I get 4 to 5. So again, these two have the same value, so that 4 to 5 when they are simplified.